Hello, everybody. We have a wonderful Memuna today that will dissect Netflix and its success. Memuna, the word is yours.
Oh my God, such a warm introduction. How am I looking today, Robert? Do you find a similarity?
Yeah, of course. I like the similarity with your post and your outfits
Mm-hmm.
today. I thought it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I was
It was no. It was just by chance, but it looks it's not.
bad. Yeah, it's really good for me because I took my picture like that and I tried to make an avatar out of it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna appear on the live today like that. All
Yeah, great.
right. Okay. So I would not discuss who I am or what I do. I don't really want to do that. I go I want to go straight to the point that how Netflix got successful. Okay, when I got this invitation from Robert, it was like, okay, Memuna, let's discuss a topic. And I was like, okay, let's do a case study. And I thought of Netflix. Like, Netflix is a common name, everybody has heard about that. But when I tried to locate their journey, it was so big, and I was like, okay, maybe it's too big to do a case study on. But I decided not to give up on this idea because me, Robert, and you guys, all of us, we're chasing a goal that's big, like too big at the moment, apparently, for many of us. So, why not think on something that is already big and it was small, very small at some point of time? And how did they go through their journey? So, we learn from them, we take some strategies from them, and we integrate it into our businesses. How about that?
Well, I like this. I like this. I just read today a quote that hits me really hard. That
Mm-hmm.
says, uh, "No person, no big person, was born big. We were
Yeah.
all born small."
That's practically
I
true
think
also.
it fits here completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually practically true.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, do you know about Mark Randolph? He's
Not
co-founder of
much. Not
Netflix.
much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna tell you about him. I read a lot about him for this live, and today we're gonna talk a lot about him and the information that he has made public from his company. So he's the co-founder of Netflix, and I was researching the material, and I heard him say that when the company was found in 1997, the idea was to send DVDs by mail. It was ridiculous. No one would buy DVD by mail. Like, they doubted themselves. But he says, but every idea is bad. We just don't know why they are bad yet. This is the yet is so beautiful. And most important thing is that how clever you can be finding a quick and cheap way to test your idea. Like, you see how he framed his whole business idea strategy, how to validate the idea in just 2 lines. And this is so clever to test the thing as fast as possible because losing time is like losing your life, and life is more important than losing money, isn't it?
Yeah. I like this idea because a lot of times we hear, I think Steve Jobs said it, and for instance, Rory Sutherland said it, that the big ideas are not doesn't make sense in advance. They usually make sense in retrograde. So
Mm-hmm.
when you like you said, okay, it's easy to be a general after the battle. It's
Yeah.
some kind of the same thing here, and I think a lot of great ideas. No, I will say there are a lot of ideas that were just tries but fail, and we don't
Yeah.
talk about them. We talk about the ones that succeeded, but nobody talks about them, the ones that failed. And we'll talk
Mm-hmm.
about it later, because
Yeah.
I think we are pre-designed or pre teach that we have to succeed on our first attempt, especially in school, and in society. Everybody thinks, okay, you have this attempt and you have to succeed, uh, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
reality. You have to fail a lot of times before you have this
Yeah.
big success.
Indeed, indeed. And it's so is I can from this point take you straight to like how many of us are trying to build something new, something of our own. And we think that we need a lot of money, a lot of expertise to be very perfect. We need to be perfect to take the first step. Well,
Hmm.
that is not even the case for the giants, the today's giants that everybody know. They rose up from a lot of failures. Like Reed, the other founder, he has a failed company. He worked on that company that was, I think, called Pure Software. That company was live for 7 years, and for the whole 7 years, that company was a failure. And he exited that company, and then he found company. And this company, and me know, and everybody here know how much successful this company is.
Hmm.
Hmm. So let's go to the birthplace of the successful businesses. If you see all the successful businesses today, you will see a very unique, a very similar as well trade that all these businesses are offering a solution to a prevailing problem. So Reed Hastings that I just talked about, the other founder, said that in 90s before I was born, right? People were charged late fees for returning the rented DVDs late, and people were hating it. Like they went to a store, they bought a DVD, and they for some reason did not make to return it or they didn't want to return it. But well, that's another case and they would be charged a fees to return it late, right? People hate it.
Hmm.
And he was like, okay, maybe how about not charging it, not charging the late fees, and have a subscription price, like subscription pricing model. And that thing was their ridiculous idea,
Hmm.
right? They tested their ridiculous idea, and it's very funny. At the first day of their launch, their website crashed, it literally crashed, and Reed ran to get himself more servers to just handle the incoming influx of people. If you look at the financial perspective of this approach, like no charging and no fees charged on the late return, and also giving them the subscription model, it was risky. And when I was reading about it, I was like, how did they get their DVDs back? Like, if I'm here in my home and I'm getting um, a DVD by post. And that DVD is with me. I did not even get it by person. I don't even have to return it by person. I wouldn't return it. So the thing, okay, that's my mama.
No problem.
My mama. You're seeing.
Just need to see
Okay,
background, so no problem.
let me change my angle. All right, how is it now?
It's okay. It was
Just
okay
getting.
before too.
Yeah, yeah, I know. She doesn't know. Okay. So I was like, okay, let's get back to the point. Like, how would they get their DVDs back? Okay, the DVDs were cheap, but not that cheap for new business owners. But
Hmm.
then I found out, okay, their subscription model that they were offering, that was very clever, like very clever. Would you like to know what was it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Subscription models Their subscription models allowed unlimited rentals, but at most 3 DVDs at a time. So the subscription was for a month, but
Hmm.
you get only 3 DVDs. Did you understand the point here? It's like if I pay for a month and I order 3 movies, aka 3 DVDs, in a month, and now I have all three. I have 3 movies. They are with me. I can watch them unlimitedly. But I would think, damn, I paid for a month and I can watch as many movies as I can. Why not return this DVD and get another DVD for the same cost, right? I
That
wouldn't miss out on the thing for which I'm already paying.
paying. That's so clever.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and that worked for them. And they had 90% return rate on their DVDs.
Hmm.
So it was really working for them, and as well as the subscriptions, because that was a new idea at that time. It created customer loyalty because they wouldn't need to commute to the Blockbuster store. That was actually a very big company that was a competitor of Netflix,
Hmm.
and people would get locked up in a month for a month with unlimited supply of movies. So the churn rate at Netflix, churn rate is the rate at which customers leave your company, leave your customerhood. And that was at rock bottom in Netflix in their first from the first year actually. And that helped them scale very fast, right? So I was like, oh God, it's so clever. And I would also like to tell you guys that how they killed the cost by going all online. At that time, Blockbuster had 9,000 stores in US with staff, infrastructure, inventory. And on the other hand, you see these two guys having one warehouse and using Post to send the DVDs. How funny is that?
Yeah.
Just compare the sizes. Wow. And this is actually the confidence of new business owners to come up with their idea and execute their idea and don't care like who is in the market already and
Hmm.
how big of a market chunk they have,
Hmm.
right? And this cost cutting that they had, it created a huge jump in their profitability and they scaled from there. And now let's imagine that we are in 1998, right? And Reed Hastings, he became the CEO. Mark, however, was the previous CEO for the 12 months, right? And he was kind of devastated by this fact. Like, somebody asked him, why did you let this happen? Why didn't you say in Pakistani accent, don't tell me what to do, right? So he didn't say, don't tell me what to do, but he let that happen. And when he was asked that question, he said that read visualizes the problem, find connection between the problems, pick the root even faster than me. This person is Mark who is saying this. So
Hmm.
I accepted the change of designations. And in my opinion, what I read about him, like he was human version of Power BI integrated with AI for auto analysis of everything. So everything was visualized with him. He was picking the connections and he was making decisions very fast. And you see, the fast decision making coupled with fast execution promised them their success. And I researched their revenues in these 2 years, and it was so astonishing. Like in '97, the year they launched their business, they
Hmm.
made 250K dollars, US dollars,
Okay.
and in 1998, 12 months after, they made 5.8 million, and this is the year when Reed joined the board. Like 250,000 compared with $5.8 million dollars.
Hmm.
That's a lot of money to
Yeah.
be inflowing in 12 months,
Yeah.
right? The big jump. It's a very big jump. And do you also know a very important thing here? In 99, 2 years after the company started, they were offered a buyout by Amazon by Bezos. They even got in a meeting with Bezos and got offered $15 million, but Reed and Mark, they decided not to sell. Why?
Hmm.
Like, when I thought about it, okay, let's imagine it's me who made that company, worked on it for 20 to 23 months, and I'm now getting $15 million for that company. That's amazing. But but they didn't sell it. Why? Because 97 to 99 revenue growth was parabolic. If I take you a little bit technical, when you are trying to buy a company, evaluation is done to value the company. And
Hmm.
usually the valuation method used is called future cash flow method. And what it does, it uses a factor. based on the historic figures to predict the future figures. And for them, it was even beyond 1000%. The jump in their revenue
Hmm.
broke the scale. So they said, okay, let's take the risk, let's go all in and not sell this company because it was giving a huge, let's say, jump start to Bezos. And they were like, okay, why not cash on it ourselves?
Hmm.
So they did not sell the company, carried on the company until 2007 on the DVD model, but 2007 was a really important year for Netflix. And from 2000 to 2007, they were growing exponentially. They grew across the states and they had to open various warehouses at multiple locations to feed the demand that they had. Their demand, just imagine the demand that they have. I don't, I cannot imagine. I was too small at that moment, but you can imagine. You can tell me the reality. Like, did you see them grow? Did you even notice them, right?
No, because I was here in Slovenia. It was a socialist country, communist
Hmm.
country. We have no connections with America except we built
Okay.
space program for America and things like that. But otherwise not. It was a complete different situation here.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
You didn't see them at 2007 stage. That's actually so real. I asked people in my country and also in the other countries except USA, they were invisible till 2017. Why? Because they were a buy post DVD company and
Mhm.
they couldn't ship DVDs across the borders for sure. And that
Yeah.
is the reason they just grew inside the US.
Mhm.
However, in 2007, when the reality hit them that they have invested so much money in buying locations and renting locations. When we talk about renting, the rent money is actually burnt for a business. Rent money is a total OPEX and it's never going to come back. However, the CAPEX, capital expenses that they did to buy some locations, maintain some locations, people like you and me would think, okay, a warehouse bought at an ideal location would give them a lot of capital gain across the period, right?
Mhm.
But when money is there, but it is not put in a running business, the velocity at which that chunk of money can make more money is uncomparable to the capital gain that they can make on that whatever capitalization that they have done. The warehouses, their CFO was banging their doors like, you need to take a decision here. And at that point, it was a very interesting coincidence that broadband internet was getting attention. So what
Mhm.
did they do? What did they do? They took that step that made them known to us. They went online, 100%.
Yeah.
They started streaming. And because of that broadband internet coming in and they getting the online platform for themselves streaming 24/7, they just made the new thing possible that nobody imagined, right? And the opportunity, they grabbed their opportunity so immediately and went all online, made them globally accessible. They introduced themselves in the global market.
Mhm.
So it was like not only limited till US now, and also, if you notice, something else happened. When they went on the subscription model with everything that was there previously, online completely, now the 3 DVD limit is not there anymore,
Mhm.
right? So I don't have to receive by post, send by post, and that deduction of effort, it led to inflow of new customers. And the
Mhm.
new customer base was skyrocketing over days. And everybody wanted the real unlimited because previously it was just unlimited, but not really,
Mhm.
right? And the global subscriber base increased the revenues for that year, 2007 and 8, by 300%, right?
Great.
So, in a nutshell, they reframed the offer that gave them flexibility,
Mhm.
decline in OPEX, customer base expansion, loyalty expansion, and the best thing, cost cutting. So now they don't have the warehouses, the staff for the warehouses, maintenance for them, but they have just their offices for running their business,
Hmm.
right? People hit two targets, they hit four targets with one shot. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I like this subscription model from the beginning, because I think other companies like uh, uh, can use it only later on, but
Mm-hmm.
they started with from the beginning, and that's the great model that gives you money all of the time without having to search for new customers
Yeah.
from day to day, and you have the more predictability and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great model that today everybody's want and I heard
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
Logitech is trying to use these subscription models for mouses.
For
I don't know
mouses.
how,
Oh
how
my
yeah,
God.
I don't know how they
That's
could
like
they could
capitalizing
do
on a
that.
trend, but that trend is not for them at all,
Yeah,
right? That is why maybe they make it to me.
yeah,
So let's go get back to the topic.
yeah.
Forward to 2013, world's largest streaming platform worth $21.4 billion, right? So, like in the period of how much? I think 15 years, like 15, 16 years, they made it to the
Mhm.
$21.4 billion worth. And until this point, the company did not have any segments of service. Like in finance, we call it operating segments. And what do? They diversify the business risk. So your all of your eggs are not put in one because they were streaming others' work, diversify, and they had to find a way. They planned the ways in 2011, but when in 2013 they hit the mark, they officially launched their first in house original. When in the real world, the segment is theoretically decreasing risk, but practically increasing it. Like a movie success is highly unpredictable, right? Nobody can
Mhm.
assess if XYZ movie is going to be a hit or not.
Yeah,
Power of people is more valuable than power of money. But the money brings people. How amazing is
yeah,
that, isn't it? So for them, it was a DreamWorks animation contract. Shrek. Everybody knows Shrek. They are the
yeah.
ones that made Shrek, and they got the contract. The company hit 200 billion valuation mark in 2020 because everybody was on the couches watching Netflix thanks to Corona. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I
Right.
feel sometimes that I'm still stuck in 2020. Like that year was so slow. Everybody was in their houses, nobody's doing anything. And comparing to 2024, the speed at which this a year has passed, it's oh my God, it's beyond me. I'm like feeling, oh my God, now if on 21st of January 25, I'm 5 years past 2020. Oh my God, that's a lot,
Mhm.
right? Don't you feel like that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the habits that we developed in that era, it's still benefiting Netflix. Like
yeah.
there were not many binge watches before 2020, and now there are a lot of binge watches, and it's all going on the crown of Corona. And in 2020, actually, coming back to Netflix, they spent the all-time high of 14 billion, 50% of aggregate cost on their original content. And many of them were a hit. You must remember a series from 2020, right? But the success part is now going to go down. The things are going south now because in 2022, their valued by 50, and how much is that 50%? It's almost 100 million, 100 billion dollars. So previously, they were hitting 38 billion mark in 2020, and in 2022 they are down by 100 million. That's almost 50%. And why did
Mm-hmm.
it happen? It all goes to the price hike, right? Everybody was trying to get Netflix and chill, but they increased their prices because people started going back to offices in 2022 and they
Mm-hmm.
needed more money, right? And they did a sensitivity analysis. In finance, again, I would like to describe some terms. An analysis is done when something is about to change, and we have to monitor the impact of that change on the existing things. Regardless of whatever sensitivity analysis said, they just increased the prices. And also, it was coupled by Disney taking back its licensed content because in the same year, I think, Disney started Disney Plus, and it took all of its content from other providers and take it to their own system. And
Mm-hmm.
also, another bad thing happened in that year as well. Like many competitors, especially from India and other countries, but India number one, they just went on and introduced their own platforms that were much less, like for pennies in dollars, right? For
Mm-hmm.
cents, they were giving the subscriptions. So in big businesses, for better decision making, market analysis is done where the competitor's data is monitored. Previous data is monitored from the same company and XYZ, a lot of complicated stuff. But here, they monitored YouTube, right? In quotes, YouTube was thriving at that point with the ad revenue. And they were like, okay, maybe it's a good idea to introduce ads in our content and make a subscription model that is coupled with ads and cheaper. So they rolled
Mm-hmm.
out that as well. However, their brand image. Here comes in the impact of their brand. Because Reed, I think, said in 2010s somewhere that our platform will never be having ads. We will never support ads. And
Mm-hmm.
because they integrated ads into their business model, everybody was getting upset.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come to the investing, investors see the market move. So the market was moving against Netflix. They were
Mm-hmm.
having their competitors, they were having a Disney Plus introduction, they were having Disney content removed, they were having price hikes, and then they have a brand disturbance, right? And so most of the investors sold their stocks, and the value it dropped down to 100 billions down. And it was bad, really bad. But in 2023, the things started getting better because the ad supported content proved to be a good step, actually. It was a conflict at that point. I remember I saw many YouTube shorts saying that it's against their brand and blah, 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 but it wasn't. And
Mm-hmm.
they played the game that is called We Are Cheapest in the Game. So
Mm-hmm.
as they played it and they won it, because there are a lot of people who are okay with ads but are not okay with a lot of money to be paid. Okay, $20 is maybe a lot for some people who don't want to pay anything. And that ad-based model was charged in some countries, and in some countries they were not even charged. And also in 23, they did something very interesting. They collabed with telecommunication companies. You see, somebody is calling you and is saying, okay, buy this bundle and get 1 month of Netflix free. And they got customers inside. And from the next
Mm-hmm.
month, they started charging them, and the customers are already hooked. So
Yeah.
I think LinkedIn collabs are inspired by that collaboration because
Yeah.
after 2022, the collabs are at all-time high, and I'm just like, okay, maybe they're inspired by the Netflix game. So it increased their customer base again. People started flowing back into the business, and their business led to the valuation of 280 billion by 2023, right? So from 234 billion to 134 billion back to 280 billion just in the span of 2 years. How big is that? And that is
Yeah.
all based on the strategy. The strategy that focuses on the market moves, that focuses on the demands of customer, and that focuses on the financial efficiency. and it's all coupled with the data and powerful decisions. Also,
Hmm.
there is one special thing that helped them in 2023, and in 2024, projectedly, they're going to have 370 billion valuation by the end of 24,
Yeah.
right? And the special thing is AI, right? Because from 23 start, they started the utilization of analytics, the analytics, how the user is using their platform coupled with AI. So the content suggestions did the magic for them. AI made the personalized content algorithm sharp to the need of the user. Like we got suggestions before as well, right? Since ever, we are getting suggestions, but the
Yeah.
suggestions are not exactly tailored to our need. They were like guessing. The algo was guessing before. Now the algo knows,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
AI did, in my opinion, the magic for them because from 97 to 2013, they're hitting the 100 billion mark. They are coming down to 138 billion again in 2022, and 22 has 138 and 24 has 370. Their lifetime growth is 100% increased in the last 2 years. And this growth is, I wouldn't say 100%, but okay, maybe 65 to 70% attributable to AI, right? And they have a mantra here with what I'm going to close, that we record data,
Hmm.
AI classifies it per
Hmm.
user level, predict the demand, act on it. It will grow the customer base, grow the revenue, and lead to financial success.
Excellent, excellent. So, if I recap what you have told us today,
Mm-hmm.
I see certain points that I think small or want to be big
Yeah.
entrepreneurs could use. For instance, use AI, use
Mm-hmm.
data, or for the beginning, use data and use AI on the data. Then
Mm-hmm.
use collaboration and use
Yes.
subscription model. What would
Yeah.
you add?
Mm-hmm. Use subscription model for sure, but use the initial charge model as well, right? Because for some
Yeah.
businesses, the subscription is going to work for the businesses that offer recurring equally on when we talk about like you and me
Hmm.
who are giving services, right? Those services are like enabling a company to do a task and then they need just support afterwards. So in that case, we have to
Hmm.
charge a lot on the first step, and then the subscription based
Hmm.
maintenance, it will go on and on with the customer, right? So
Hmm.
the in your summary that hits my head is collaboration, and that's what we are doing right now, and we look forward to do again.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And one more
Uh,
thing, like when
uh,
we think of something or someone that is very successful, it's about making decisions that are informed, being courageous, and also being really fast. These three
yeah.
things, when coupled together, they work wonders. Otherwise, okay, maybe it's a good decision, but not a courageous person. Maybe it's a courageous person, but like the speed at which the actions are taken is very less, right? So it doesn't work.
As I saw a lot of times when I talk to people, especially with young entrepreneurs, they think they have to make a perfect product, that everything has to be perfect, and they have to know all the answers. But the fact
Hmm.
is that you never have all the answers. And I like the quote that somebody says, I don't know who, but he says,
Hmm.
when they prepared it first product, I already made 30 mistakes and learn from them. You know.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is so real because nobody can be very perfect from the first step. and it's
Yeah.
always coupled with the failures. I was like, when I was thinking of starting something at the end of 2022, I guess, since then I'm thinking of this stuff, and I was so FOMO. I was okay, this is also a thing that I need to do. That is also a thing that I need to do. But in the end, I was like, no, I have to do one thing, do that fast, and then move on. And one very interesting thing from this case study that we just discussed today, that whenever you are into something, you have an idea, you have to put that into action as fast as Mark did.
Yeah.
What did he do? Like this person, Mark and Reed, they were driving in a car and they were commuting to their office, right? And then they talked about this idea of renting DVD over post. And they were like, okay, DVD is a new technology. Let's go take a DVD, post it to my address, and see if that DVD lands to my address in one piece.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
they went to the store, they rented a DVD, they bought actually a DVD, put it in an envelope, put it in a card, and they sent it to Reed's address. And the next day it came back, Reed came back to his home and he found the envelope in his mailbox, and he
Mhm.
opened it with a lot of heartbeats, and he was like, okay, I pray it is in one piece. And it was in one piece, and that established their trust on post, and that's how they
Yeah.
started. So in my eyes, it was just a turnaround of a car to the DVD store, and that made the success happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, and I also when I talk to people, they say, "Okay, but how to get this courage?" And I said, "Never think about the courage. Just make the first step, make the action, and the courage will come later."
Yeah.
And it's usually that kind of, because if you think too much, if you see all the obstacles, I like
Hmm.
skiing, and I like skiing. Also, this is there's a ski place in Slovenia called Kranjska Gora, and
Hmm.
there's a path
There's a,
where you
okay,
can
I
ski.
understood. I understood.
No, no. Just two more sentences. You can ski between trees, and if you
Oh,
ski between
okay.
trees, there's an essential vision. You have to see the path between trees. You don't have to. You don't concentrate on trees, because if you concentrate on trees and avoiding them, you will hit into the tree. But if you see the
Yeah.
path between and concentrate
Hmm.
on that, you will succeed.
Yeah, that's really amazing because I never went to skiing, right? And I'm visualizing what you're saying, and it is so like adrenaline boosting,
Yeah,
right?
it is. It is.
In running a business is also adrenaline boosting because we are taking the risks every time, every moment, and every day when you wake up, when you're onto a new journey, you wake up and your heartbeat is high and you're thinking, okay, what do I have to do today? I have to do this thing, I have to do that thing. Oh my God, I don't think this will be done by the day end. I have to talk to that guy. What if he says no? Right? These two
Exactly.
examples were
Oh,
so
exactly.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, thank you, Memuna. It was a great talk, and we'll do it again because I
Sure.
like this collaboration.
I like it
Yeah,
too because you made me study a case that inspired me while being studied.
yeah,
Isn't that interesting? Because I never thought that, okay, I will go and read about Netflix and tell everybody about Netflix, but somehow you made me do that. LinkedIn made me do that, right?
yeah.
And here I am.
Great, great. I like that. I like
Thank you.
that. Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye from my side. Goodbye, everybody. So nice to see all of you. Take care.